Cowabunga Reject Nation, we got ourselves a new trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, joined with John Humphreys. John, how are you?
I'm great, sir. Cowabunga, pizza slices, all that good stuff. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for asking. If you guys haven't seen it yet, John and Coy, they have reacted to Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right here on this channel. It was just last week. Talk about perfect metadata timing. You guys should go ahead and check that out. And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead over, skateboard over to that like button. All right, guys, let's see what this trailer's all about. There's a lot of hype surrounding this film. The Turtles deserve a good movie.
Oh, sweet.
Permanent teenager.
Beautiful art style.
Talk about Spider-Verse influence here.
Yeah. Into the sewerverse.
Stay still. Stay still.
Now.
Ooh.
Let's try that again, but with ninja stars.
Wow, they're really teenagers.
Take a fruit shaped exactly like my head.
Stop talking. You're ruining my concentration.
You're fine. Chill. He's gonna die.
Wait, did you hear that? What was that? Well, nothing we can do. You guys want to grab pizza?
Yeah.
This Tribe Called Quest. Splinter.
What the heck are those things? They look like little Shreks to me.
Love and life. Oh, is that Bebop and Rocksteady? Ooh, ah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna be sick.
Leo, what happened? Is Donnie bleeding?
It was an accident. Mikey, watch out!
So, you were baby turtles who made contact with mystery goo.
Well, we prefer the term ooze, but yeah.
It's like more like it's just nicer.
It rolls off the tongue better, yeah.
Ooh. It's nice, right?
Look at that cast.
Hells yeah, man. It's stacked.
What a cast. Well, after the Kids' Choice Awards of this wide array of talent and many characters who most wouldn't know of, I expected this trailer to really show off this massive range of characters, but instead we got one that was a pure teaser trailer. It let us get introduced to the different animation style. Its mood in the first half kind of surprised me because it had this almost, I want to say, sort of indie dramedy vibe where you get a real emphasis on them feeling like real teenagers. Their camaraderie, their innocent yet mischievous ways. Feels like we'd be getting this, I'd say, a coming-of-age story as its heart and soul, yet with this pretty badass comic book Spider-Verse animation style influence. The fact that they got, you know, actual kids to be playing the Turtles versus getting, you know, famous-ass celebrities like a Chris Pratt or some shit like that to be playing the Turtles. They really got kids, and you get the strong sense of that, of the youthful quality of them. Weirdly, as much as, you know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you don't really get the vibe of the teenager side too much, other than, you know, the fun side of them, you know, going around the city, eating the pizza and all that shit that they do. This really felt like, they're actual kids growing up. This feels like a coming-of-age story that it's going to be. Animation style that is teased here in the trailer, that lends itself quite nicely to the Turtles, especially with the martial arts sequences that you'll be getting here. But John, what'd you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's actually a really smart pull, that sort of indie, like one of those movies about a bunch of kids who are like have each other, they have their camaraderie, but they're kind of on their own in the world, and they're sort of wayward and left to find their own way and stuff like that. And so yeah, like you said, I really like that they honed in on just the chemistry between these four, because at the Kids' Choice Awards too, they had the four of them help introduce the thing with Seth Rogen, and I feel like that's probably a very important aspect of something like this, is to get a voice cast who can really bring that jovial sense that they really are, you know, characters with this level of history. And so yeah, keeping it to them, you know, you get like a brief flash of Bebop and Rocksteady in there, and then you get April O'Neil at the very end, and Ayo Edebiri I'm just really excited for, because she's terrific on The Bear, And, just so to see her come into this as, a voice actor, as one of the more prominent voice actors to be featured in this particular trailer anyway, I think is cool. And I think it's neat that because this is Nick jumping back in, they've guided TMNT for a little while now, but I think this may be their first theatrical CG animated release. And so, with that, they are kind of going back to the origin, or they're redefining the origin for this new chapter in their shepherding of these characters and whatnot. And
what was the TMNT movie?
Oh, goodness.
That was an animated theatrical release. I saw it in theaters.
Okay, then maybe I'm wrong. It's because I've seen that and I know that they were behind that as well. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a new kind of approach. But either way, I really also liked. Yeah, you said Spider-Verse, and even more so, it felt like it had a kind of, I don't know, warm, hand-drawn feel. The TMNT comic books even have sort of an off-the-cuff style to the art. It feels like it was kind of like stolen out of somebody, or it feels like it was kind of, ripped out of somebody's notebook or something like that they were doodling into. And so I like that it's like very kinetic like a Spider-Verse, but it also feels a lot more sort of nicked and unpristine in a way that is, lived in, not that is, lazy or anything like that.
I like their little joke that they had about Shrek, clearly poking fun at the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles films from the Michael Bay side of things. Which I didn't hate those movies by any stretch, actually, but this feels more like Ninja Turtles. I heard, of course, that Jackie Chan's going to be voicing Splinter. Jackie Chan, one of my heroes growing up, I think is a perfect addition to be playing the mentor to the Turtles here, and he's done a lot of great voice work before. I just realized right now, because Seth Rogen produces, and isn't Seth Rogen also on Kung Fu Panda?
Yes.
As well, so you got Seth Rogen and Jackie Chan reuniting together.
And Seth Rogen is playing another warthog.
From The Lion King.
Bebop,
yeah. Yeah, he's Bebop, and who's
John
Cena's Rocksteady. Yeah, okay.
Which they're like the only two extended characters, unless those three punk dudes are going to be mutated into like a Mondo Gecko or something like that, because sometimes I know those characters are like spliced out of humans. So maybe they will change later.
I mean, yeah, you might be right about that. They have the character Cynthia Utrom in it. I don't know who Cynthia Utrom is, but I'm aware that is the character. The Utrom's it's the race from what's his name? Krang, right? Yeah. The race of Krang, and Krang, their race had the whole thing that developed the mutagen that created the Turtles. I'd imagine that is a likelihood of what they could do. I'm looking at the IMDb cast right now. And one thing, too, that I really liked as well is, especially with capturing Raphael, I'm so used to them really wanting to hone in on Raphael's, edginess, the rough side of the tracks version of him. That's something, especially in nowadays where we like to go with the darker approach with things, and it's Raphael. He's always the darker character of them all. And here they really let him just be fun in the trailer too, which I thought was kind of refreshing.
Especially too because TMNT, he is doing like a full Batman thing in that movie.
Well, speaking of Batman, they're gonna have Wingnut being here.
Yeah, voiced by a lady, which I'm sure people are gonna love.
I don't care.
I'm sure people are not gonna have an opinion about that, but I'm excited for Roseburn.
There's like a billion Ninja Turtles properties and adaptations, and
it'll be fun.
There's something about this where the animation style has me especially excited for the action. But yeah, this feels incredibly expressive. It is very Spider-Verse influenced, though.
It's like Spider-Verse, but like with just a wilder freehand almost. Like it almost has a vaguely, it's like scribbles in your notebook meets an impressionist painting almost.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful in its own way. It's like beautiful, but also pop art, which I think is very fitting of this. And yeah, if you're going to borrow from Spider-Verse, which is like the new thing to do, even Puss in Boots is borrowing from Spider-Verse, like I think this is a nice way to at least push that style even further down at least the drawn direction.
Well, yeah, it has that street art vibe.
Yeah.
Which I really do like. So, yeah, I'm sure I won't be watching it go in Spider-Verse with my arms crossed or something like that. And also, if you're going to take influence from an animated property, Spider-Verse is a great thing to take influence from.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, there have been so many iterations of the Ninja Turtles that vibe, I think, would hold it. Like, if they wanted to do a multiverse Turtles movie, that would be absolutely within the realm.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Might as well. All righty, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hey, let's end this with a...
Andrew Hayes, you're the turtlest turtle of them all here at the Patreon, my dude. I feel like you would be the perfect fifth Ninja Turtle. You got like the perfect halfway point between like a Michelangelo, because you got a good party vibe, but you're also a little bit of a Donatello. You know tech, you know how to pick locks and things like that, but you got that dark side too. You got that Raphael brooding in you, but I feel like you also got the leadership streak in you as well, little Leonardo, little stern, but also quality, also compassionate. I think you would be the perfect, just sort of auxiliary fifth member wild card turtle character. That's the mutant I want for you. So slip and fall in some ooze, man. Get yourself all mutated out, and then go start fighting some crime, man. Survive the crime apocalypse. That's what I want for you.
All righty. Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Yep.
Thanks for being here forever, Andrew. You'll never leave, and I love that about you.